Alright, so now that we create our dimension style, the next step is that adding a dimension to our drawing set. So what I want to do is that I'm going to go, in order to access to the any dimension tool, I have two options. One is that I can go to the home tab, and in the annotation section I have a list of different dimensions that I can add. The other way is that I can go to the annotation tab, and right there is a dimension section that I can use and add my dimension. So in order to add my dimension, I'll zoom in on this piece, and I'm going to use this list of different dimension tool that I can use. Most of them is basically self-explanatory, and you can just move over your mouse over and then AutoCAD explain which one means which. For example, if I want to dimension the horizontally I use a linear. If I want to dimension in a different angle, I can use the align, or if I want to show the ray the the angle between two objects, I can use that, and all these things that basically is self-explanatory. So I'm going to use the linear for my floor plan. So the first thing I have to do is that I specify in which point, 2 points, I want to measure the dimension. So I'm going to click on this point and then going to the other point. So as I add my dimension, you see that I can move my mouse up and then place it somewhere that I want. And you see that that dimension says the extension is going to be 206. So in order to just haphazardly just adding my dimension all over the place, I'm going to be more precise and know how far I want my dimension from my drawing. So I'm going to put 2 feet. I'm going to click here. So that's basically adding the dimension. So if I want to run this, I can just press space and I can add the second dimension right there. And I can either type 2, or I can go over here, endpoint, and click, and that's place my second dimension. So this is adding a dimension. If I want to add the third one, let's add the third one. So it's very important that the dimension is placing in the right format. So I can add my dimension somewhere here, but it's when you add all these like measurement dimensions in your drawings, it's very important that you create some sort of a clean and legible drawing. So this is like a very, after a while, become very messy. And if I want to go over each time that I create my dimension and then click on this side, click on the other side, and then trying to find this point, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use another tool that is available in AutoCAD, and that's basically is a adding continuous drawing. So zoom out here a little bit, and right here there is two different type of dimension. One is called continuous. I'm going to use a continuous, and it asks me from which dimension I want to continue first. If I want to click here, and I can add the second dimension. As you can see, it's basically continuous, same line of the dimensions, and I can go and continuously adding a dimension to my drawings. All right. One thing that I noticed, and I want to fix that, is that the dimension that I can see in my drawings is basically, aligned uh, with the dimension line, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna go over to the dimension style. I'm gonna go select that floor plan that I have. I'm gonna modify it. So let's go to the text, text placement. I'm gonna change this one to above. Okay, so that now the text placement is above my dimension style. I like that more than this one. And the other thing that I notice is that 1/8 is kind of a little bit big for this drawing. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go here and then click on the dimension style and the text style, and basically creating a new text style. So I'm going to put this one, and I'm going to do new, and I'm going to call this one dimension. Okay, dimensions. And instead of leave it as 1/8, let's put this as 1/10. Let's see how we can go with this. And it's going to be 1/8. And here I'm going to change this one to dimension. So it's going to be 3/32 basically. And we're going to press OK and OK. All right, much better. visually much better. So that's how it's going to be basically attached. So let's go and continue adding a dimension to this part. So I'm going to open this up, or I can click here, and I'm going to click on this side, and this side, this side, and this side. Okay, so now I want to add the dimension to the other side. What happened? If I click on the continuous, it is started from this side. So what I have to do is that first I press a space. So that pressing a space get me back to the selecting the continued dimension. See that little note on the commands menu. So I'm going to click on this side this time, and I'm going to go over my mouse to the other side and adding the dimension right there. Okay. Now that I have this, everything looks fine except this dimension here. So I'm not bound to this kind of a format that AutoCAD provide for me. So I can go over this dimension, zoom in, select it, and I can move the text to the other side. It's the same thing for other, for example, dimension, even if they don't have like going above and then adding a leader to. So for example, this one, I can take this and then stretch and move it to the other side wherever I want. So basically I'm not bound. So usually what happens is that when you add all these dimensions to your drawings, is some text goes to the other one, so you can basically after you finish, you making sure that all these dimensions is in the right place and it's legible. Alright, so now what I want to do is that I want to add a dimension from this side to all the way to this side. So I'm going to go over here, open up, going with the baseline, and basically it's right in the right place. If it doesn't in the right place, I can press a space and I can select the place that I want to start the continuous. If I click on the other side, let's say here, you see that the dimensions start from that side. So I'm going to press a space, I'm going to click on this side, and I'm going to go all the way down to here, and that will be it. I'm going to zoom in, see the text is in the middle of the wherever the other dimension is. So I'm going to select this, and I can drag and all the way bring it up, drop this grip from this side. If I use the center, that's basically the text. If I use the two sides, it's basically the dimension. So that's basically adding a dimension to the drawings. One other tool that has become very helpful sometimes, I personally don't use it, but it's basically automatic version of adding a dimension, is that using this one, this like an automatic type of dimension. This basically you give the object to the AutoCAD, and AutoCAD understand what type of object you are trying to add a dimension, and it automatically add the correct type of dimension to that. So I'm going to go with the, for example, dimension, automatic dimension. If I move my mouse to this object, see it automatically understand it's a line, and if we want to add like a linear dimension to that. So I'm going to click on this and then see that's I can just define, for example, if it's going to be 2 feet, add that 2 feet here. Alright, so let's move to this side, and this time I draw a circle, and let's add again using this magical dimension tool, and then click on it and then move my mouse. See, automatically understand it's a circle and it's format of the dimension, and it add the dimension right there. If I want to use a different type, it's I can just change and choose a different type of dimension as well. So right now you know how to create the dimension. What I want you to do is that I want you to choose this and making sure that you add all dimensions to your drawing set, making sure that when you are adding a dimension, you are in the dimension layer, and finish this, and then we get started in the second part of this session.